Would you say no men in female sports?
Well, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that.
Governor Gavin Newsom making clear where he stands on transgender athletes, specifically those who've transitioned from male to female competing in girls and women's sports.
It is an issue of fairness. So it's deeply unfair.
The governor making those comments on the first episode of his new podcast, This is Gavin Newsom. His first guest, conservative activist and pro-Trump media personality, Charlie Kirk.
This one is an 80-20 issue. New York Times poll, right? That's
No,
not
I
like
agree with you. We're getting crushed on it.
Crushed. And what's not fair is just for like entire woman's sports.
I agree. By the way, I agree with you.
Newsom, though, adding he feels it is important the transgender community is not marginalized.
These poor people are more likely to commit suicide, have anxiety and depression. And the way that people talk down to vulnerable communities is an issue that I have a hard time with as well. So both things I can hold in my hand.
Still, for trans activist and leader Bambi Salcedo with the Trans Latinau Coalition, Newsom's message on trans athletes is not acceptable.
My emotions really are one of anger and one of disappointment. Our governor should be the one who is there to protect us, right? Particularly in these political times. And with his remarks, really says that he is not standing in solidarity with one of the most marginalized populations.
It's a sentiment echoed in this statement by the California LGBTQ Legislative Caucus. Quote, sometimes Gavin Newsom goes for the profile and courage, sometimes not. We woke up profoundly sickened and frustrated by these remarks. Individual members of the caucus and some of Newsom's fellow Democrats taking it a step further. This from Assemblymember Alex Lee. Quote, what the expletive? Trans people and LGBTQ plus people are under attack. We don't need our governor caving to conservative talking points that further hurt and scapegoat 1% of the population. On that same note, San Francisco Democratic Senator Scott Wiener writing Charlie Kirk is a vile bigot and standing with him on this issue is profoundly disturbing. Republican Assemblymember Bill Asaley, meantime, says he agrees with what the governor had to say, but he does not have confidence the governor will actually turn his words into legislation.
It's empty talk. It's just to get a headline and make it look like he's more moderate than he really is.
Why do you think Governor Gavin Newsom is doing this?
Governor Gavin Newsom's podcast is a really smart move. If he can talk to Donald Trump voters, that's a plus for Democrats, because right now the mainstream of the Democratic Party is that Donald Trump is bad and his supporters are deplorables. And Gavin Newsom is smart enough to realize that we need to talk to these voters and we need to pull some of them back into the Democratic Party.
And the entire episode is just over 1 hour and 10 minutes. You can listen to it at iHeart Podcasts. The next episode is expected to be released later this month. Reporting at the state capitol, covering local news that matters, Eitan Wallace, Fox 40 News.